Hi, and thanks for joining us. My name's Lee Booth from Society Matters, and I've got our social welfare expert, Adam Matthews, with us this morning to talk about the Chancellor's recent announcement in the budget. Adam, basically, what does this mean for people claiming universal credit?
Thanks, Lee. Yes, so it's good news for people that are working on universal credit. So the taper rate and the work allowance are going to be raised. So the taper rate is the amount of universal credit payments that claimants lose as they work and earn more above a certain threshold, which is called the work allowance, which is going to be different for everybody. So in some cases, some families will be eligible for a work allowance. You will be eligible for work allowance normally if you have responsibility for a child or children, and if someone in your household or yourself has limited capability for work, so perhaps has a long-term health condition or a disability, which means they can't take part in any work-related activity. So the current monthly work allowances were set at £293 if your universal credit included housing support, so perhaps the housing element of universal credit, and £515 if you weren't receiving any housing support. So when it comes to the budget, we were being told that the allowance has been raised by £504 per year. So that means that both work allowances will rise by £42 a month to £335 a month and £557 a month, respectively. So when it comes to the taper rate, so the taper rate is now going to be reduced by 63% to 55%. This was something that was kind of brought at the beginning of universal credit, where 55% was what they were aiming for, but they actually set it higher. So this does mean that people will get an extra amount if they are working. So at the current universal credit taper rate, which is 63%, that means for every pound earned over that work allowance, the amount of universal credit paid to the claimant is reduced by 63p. So if you to earn £100 a month above your work allowance, that means you're going to lose £63 from your universal credit claim. So with the taper rate being kind of lowered to 55%, that means that if you are to earn £100 a month above that work allowance, you're now going to lose £55 rather than a 63. So a little bit of extra help there. Thanks, Lee.
Brilliant. Thanks, Adam. And so is this going to benefit everybody who claims universal credit?
Unfortunately, only people that are in employment. So just to give you an example, a person that was without children, that was working 10 hours a week on the national living wage, which is obviously going up to £9.50 in April. So they would earn £95 a week. At the current 63% taper rate, that means they would lose £59.85 of their universal credit. So when the taper rate is cut to 55%, they're going to take home an extra £7.60 a week. So just to bear in mind, 40% of people that are on universal credit are themselves or a member of the household actually in employment. So the Treasury estimates that's about 1.9 million households currently on universal credit. Unfortunately, for the people that aren't in employment, so 60% of people on universal credit, they're not going to benefit from the cut to the taper rate or the work allowance. So that means there's no support for vulnerable people, perhaps people with long-term health conditions or disabilities, people that are caring full-time, and people that have lost their jobs during the pandemic as well. And also we need to think about the 1.4 million people that are still on the legacy benefit working tax credit. So there won't be any changes, unfortunately, for them either. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Adam. That's much appreciated. And finally, what's your thoughts overall on the decision made by the Treasury?
I think it's a very positive move, obviously, for people that are in employment or they have someone in their household as well. What we need to bear in mind is, although we've got the rise in the national living wage, for example, coming up, we have a lot of rising costs as well. Already we've got rising costs when it comes to energy prices, petrol prices, food as well. We're already seeing a lot of people start to struggle, and I'd expect this to get worse. I would have liked to have seen some more support for people that aren't in employment. So you know, 60% of people that are on universal credit, people that are caring full time, people that have long-term health conditions as well. So I do feel it just does fall short there, unfortunately.
Okay, thanks very much for your time, Adam. That's much appreciated. Thank you.